Alright, it's time to show you guys the next part of my game collection. We're just going to do Sega Genesis, Sega Dreamcast, and a few other random games. Don't have a ton of titles on any of those systems today, so it's not going to be a lot of games in this episode, but show you guys what we got here. Alright, first I'm going to do the random games. This is a PC game, FIFA Road to World Cup 98. I believe there's indoor soccer in this game too. So that one, I can't get this to work on my laptop, but I did have a computer once that played this. Next we have Candyland Adventure. I would love to play this game. I found it in the thrift store around me here. I bought it for $1, even though I probably might not ever get to play it. It's kind of a cool novelty to have. Candyland, you know. And then I actually have a PS3 game here, and that's just UEFA Euro 2008 soccer game for the Euro tournament. Pretty cool. I think I used to own this one on 360. I don't have a PS3. I only have a PS2, so I can't even play this. But it was $1. I thought, if I get a PS5 and it plays all the PlayStation games, maybe I can play this. Or if I get a PS4 or PS3 eventually for cheap, I'll be able to play it. So there it is. Alright, on to the Dreamcast games. I love this system, but I don't have a lot of games. I think I have 6 titles for it. I absolutely love the Sega Dreamcast. Let's get into it. So first one, Gauntlet Legends. This is just a fantastic game. A port from the arcade. It's just a really, really fun game. Dungeon crawler. It's getting a little bit of glare here. Let's see, 4 players on console. Just an absolute blast of a game. You can't go wrong with Gauntlet Legends. It's just a really, really good game. Next up we have The House of the Dead 2. You guys have seen me play this on the channel. I did it this past October. I did a video on this. Really fun game again, arcade game style. So it kind of like brings the arcade home to you. And this game still runs really well. It's a good game. It's a classic on the Dreamcast. Speaking of classics on the Dreamcast, here is probably my top 20, top 25 game of all time for me. Definitely one of my favorite horror games ever made, and you saw me maybe you've seen me play it on the channel. Nightmare Creatures 2. Such a fantastic game by Konami. I actually played through it and beat it for the first time ever on the channel. It's just gameplay videos, so if you guys want to check that out, just go to the Nightmare Creatures 2 playthrough. I played through the entire game. It was a lot of fun. I enjoy the combat in this game. I enjoy just the atmosphere is very creepy, very dark. It's an overall really good game. Fantastic music in there by Rob Zombie as well. So if you're looking for a walkthrough, you can just check out my videos. Again, it's just a classic game. This is a game that I just remember playing so much on the Dreamcast, but I'd never beaten it before till recently. Sega Bass Fishing, another arcade-like game. Actually, pretty classic game. It's pretty ridiculous, pretty goofy, but it's fun. It's a fun game. I used to play this with my friend. Sega Bass Fishing. Next one's actually a burned copy of Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. I have no idea how my brother was able to burn this onto a disc for me, because he actually had the game, but he somehow made a copy for me. So I have Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. If I ever see it out in the wild for cheap enough, I'll probably buy it so I have a real copy, but this is what I have for now. And it plays on a Dreamcast. It plays on my Dreamcast, and it works great. So there it is. A game I'd like to play through as well. It's like a Star Wars beat-em-up game. It's really good. 2 players. At least 2 players. Local. We have Striker Pro 2000. This is the last Dreamcast game I have. This is a ridiculous soccer game. Cheap as you like, but it has a charm to it. The announcer is ridiculous. The gameplay is ridiculous. But they tried. They tried with this game. I mean, it's the best they could do back then, I guess, you would think. So, there it is. Alright, now I got a few Genesis games to show you guys. Only recently bought a couple Genesis games, and then I'm kind of trying to slowly add to it. I only have 4 games for Genesis. Again, I haven't really owned a Genesis growing up or anything. I kind of bought one much later, like a few years ago. and started buying a couple games here and there. But first one we have, this is the game I really wanted when I got my Genesis right away, and they had it, and it was Aladdin. Really hard game. Well, at least I can't beat it yet. I got, the booklet and everything in here. It's complete in the box. Really nice to have this. Very colorful. The graphics are just amazing in this game. They look so good. Colors in the game are amazing. So there's Aladdin on the Sega Genesis, a real classic. This is the way to play it. I know they released this on Super Nintendo. They have a remake now out for Switch and all that. With like HD version or something, or at least like all the copies, the versions of it. This is the version to play though. The original Sega Genesis on the Sega Genesis. This is the one you want to play. Next up, we have another great game. I love this game. I love it in the arcade, and I had gotten it not too long ago, and I now have it on home console. It's Miss Pac-Man. So fun. I've played a lot of this since I picked it up. I love Miss Pac-Man. Something about it better than Pac-Man. I couldn't tell you what it is, but different ways to play. The maps and everything. You can make them smaller. You can make them more wacky. So a lot of options there. And just a really good arcade port. This is a fantastic game. Like I said, it's very, very close to the arcade version. I always seek out this game in the arcade. Whenever if I saw it there, I would have to play it at least a round on Miss Pac-Man. Next up, we got another classic. This is Sonic the Hedgehog, the original one. I don't know what this case is. It says not for resale. This was like even the cartridge. I mean, it works. It's the full game and everything, but it's like the version I bought at the store had like not for resale. So it's like I don't know what that means exactly. If this was just like a demo version or something, like I don't even know. I mean, it's the full game, but I mean like a display version more or less. I'm not sure, but there it is, Sonic the Hedgehog, the original. And the last game I have doesn't have a case because they didn't have a case when I bought it, but that's I have it in a bag. Let me take it out of the bag real quick. Goodness me. I need 2 hands to do this. There we go. That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Hyperstone Heist, if you guys can read that there. Great game. I beat it when I picked it up. I'd like to get a case for this eventually, even if it's not the authentic case. Just I know they make reproduction cases for it. I could probably order one off Amazon, and just so it has something to sit in. This is a lot like Turtles in Time. It's pretty much Turtles in Time continued. Not as good as Turtles in Time because there aren't as many villains. The levels are a lot longer in this game, a lot longer, and there just aren't as many levels. So it's not as memorable as Turtles in Time. But still, if you're looking for some more of that Turtles beat 'em up action, this is one that I think you should own. I had to pay, I don't know what I spent on this when I found it. I got this maybe like a year ago now, for like $50 or something, $50, $60. It's a tough game to find out in the wild, especially. And one of the game stores around me had it, and I promptly picked it up because I wasn't sure when I was going to see it again. And it's really fun. So there we go. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Until next time, 0 is the number. Say goodbye, Harley Quinn.